Hi everyone.
There are certain people you don't want to mess with. There aren't many people who could easily take them on.
These people have enough power, strength, and survival instinct to bulldoze anything or anyone in their path.
So, while you wouldn't want to mess with these incredible examples of human excellence, while on the outside some of these people may be friendly or calm, don't let that confuse you. Ready to have your mind blown by some serious displays of skill and strength? Thomas Wu. Boxing is a dangerous sport that requires a combination of talent and training to become any good at, and Thomas Wu seems to have hit the jackpot on talent. At just 21 years old, Wu was known to many as the fastest puncher in the world after he created a nearly impossible to replicate online trend called the floating ball challenge, which, if you can't tell by the name, involves punching a ball fast enough to keep it spinning in midair. Not just the speed of Thomas's fists, but their precision and control show that he was born for this sport, which he says he actually got into by accident when looking for a way to gain some hip mobility to help with his baseball career. 8 years of training later, and he's worlds ahead of athletes that have been training for twice as long, with 4 national championship titles to his name. Thomas claims that his current goal is to head to the Olympics and be crowned the best boxer in the world. And with hands so fast that his Instagram videos look like they're on fast forward, that goal doesn't seem all that far-fetched. Ong Bak in real life. When people want to learn to fight, they usually hit something soft to get warmed up, like a punching bag or a training dummy. But Tony Jaa is not some people. No. In fact, he's a Muay Thai master who prefers hitting tree trunks and bending steel beams with his kicks over something as simple as a punching bag. Jaa makes a living through his mastery over the martial art, working in movies and TV shows as a stunt double and fight choreographer for action scenes. And it's not hard to see why casting directors pick him for their roles. But believe me, these videos of him training are far from movie magic. Oh no, they're the real deal. Tony Jaa can do that in real life, and that's what he can do to a tree. Imagine what would happen if he were to punch you. No thank you. I'm alright never knowing what that tree just went through. The video is more than enough for me to know that you should never try any funny business with this Muay Thai master.
Vito Pirbazari. Iron muscles, 196 centimeters tall, black beard, heavy look and intimidating appearance. Meet a German fitness blogger, Vittorio or Vito Pirbazari. This muscular man is a professional bodybuilder, an actor, and, despite his looks, a very likable person. Yes, it's hard to believe, especially if you've seen bits from a new Netflix series, Dogs of Berlin. He also loves to inspire his fans by sharing his workout routines, and judging by the number of his followers, that already exceeded 100,000, he has more than enough of those.
Bear Grylls. Across his TV shows like Man vs. Wild, Running Wild with Bear Grylls, and Get Out Alive, we've witnessed Bear devour anything and everything for sustenance. A camel's intestinal fluids, elephant droppings, snakes and scorpions, you name it. Clearly this guy has no fear whatsoever and knows how to use the environment around him to his advantage. But that's not why we're featuring him in our video. While most of us know Bear as a survival expert, he's actually so much more. He's a certified black belt in Shotokan Karate and can protect himself quite nicely thanks to the moves he's learned, whether that be against rogue animals or even more rogue humans. And he's got the endurance to show up anybody. He has crossed the North Atlantic Ocean in an 11-meter-long boat and climbed Mount Everest just 18 months after severely injuring his back. He's the whole package, and we wouldn't want to come face-to-face with him in a dark alley.
Giga Uguru. This guy calls himself a ninja for a good reason. Giga Uguru has been exercising since childhood. When he was 4 years old, his parents signed him up for taekwondo classes, and Giga never took breaks since then. Of course, just one martial art wasn't enough for him. At the age of 10, he took up Thai boxing, then switched to karate and Krav Maga. However, Giga did not stop there, and added elements of acrobatics to his training too, just because he wanted to. He even learned parkour at some point, which influenced his overall fighting style and moves. Uguru's style is fascinating, and his physical fitness is simply mind-blowing. Yes, some haters claim that in real combat all these fancy acrobatic moves will be absolutely useless, and Uguru is doing all that just for the show, but still, look at him performing an entire series of punches in just a couple of seconds. Hardly anyone could withstand this fury.
Blessing Awodubu. When it comes to keeping an online following entertained, nobody can top the antics of Blessing Awodubu. The Irish influencer wasn't satisfied with just his 2 Arnold Classics and 4 International Federation of Bodybuilding titles, and so Instagram was where he turned. Amassing an ardently following of a few thousand can usually be attained by anyone with a good enough physique, and at 245 pounds of lean muscle, Awodubu has without a doubt got that under his belt. But to get into the millions like Blessing, you've gotta have a little something extra to keep people invested. The bodybuilding Adonis regularly creates loads of gut-busting sketches and viral videos that garner millions of global views, like the time he realized there was a CCTV camera recording him at the grocery store and took to flexing his competitive poses for the enjoyment of whomever was monitoring the feed. Still, having a sense of humor isn't at all going to confuse anyone watching these videos. Just because Blessing Awodubu can and will make you laugh, there's no mistaking that this man is an absolute beast, and with a build like his, nobody is going to try making him the butt of the joke anytime soon. Karim Dugyu. Usually, a martial arts master will be able to defeat opponents with their hands or their feet, or reasonably even their elbows. But Karim Dugyu can take on any opponent with nothing more than his shins. While most people's shins are little more than a very painful spot to bump into obstacles with, somehow Karim is insanely tough enough to actually fight with these vital weak points on most humans without showing a shred of discomfort. He's so widely skilled with his shins, in fact, that he actually holds a very unique world record. See, while mobsters use baseball bats to break people's shins, Karim uses his shins to break baseball bats. In his crazy run for a Guinness ranking, he managed to break numerous baseball bats using only his shins in 1 minute. That's more than 1 bat a second. Just watching this makes me wince in pain, but clearly Karim's years of martial arts training and probably a dash of mania keep him from feeling anything but exhilaration as he earns his very unique spot in history. And anyone with that kind of power and pain tolerance combined is definitely someone you never want to mess with.
Shi Yanming. Our list of tough guys wouldn't be full without a warrior monk, right? Shi Yanming was the 7th of 9 children, and when he turned 5, his parents took him to the Shaolin Temple, where he became one of the youngest monks. There, he learned martial arts and other Eastern secrets. In 1992, Shi, who had won many national martial arts competitions, was chosen to be among a group of select Shaolin monks invited by the American Kung Fu Association to tour the United States. But he never intended to go back to China. Shi secretly left his hotel in the middle of the night and escaped in order to defect from China to the United States. Speaking no English, Shi directed a cab driver with hand signals to an unknown destination, but the frustrated driver dropped him off in the middle of nowhere and called the police. Shi showed the police his passport and some newspaper clippings featuring him, so the police requested the driver to take him to a Chinese restaurant in order to find someone who could communicate with him. However, since the staff at the restaurant spoke a different dialect, the monk wrote down his communications, since both dialects use the same symbols. Soon, Shi Yanming traveled to New York, where he decided to promote Kung Fu with a huge success. Since 1992, he's been training hundreds of students, including celebrities. Thanks to his unique skills, Shi Yanming was featured in media and on TV, including National Geographic Channel. He even starred in a movie. Some say that among other skills, the master could lick red-hot iron shovels. No idea how this could be of any use to him, but that is incredibly awesome.
J.D. Anderson. In the world of bodybuilding, strongmen stand out as some of the most fearsome contenders the world has to offer, and even among strongmen, J.D. Anderson is revered on a whole nother level. The strongman has pulled off some absolutely inhuman feats as nothing more than a warm-up, such as snapping baseball bats in half or rolling up steel frying pans with his bare hands. But that's just JD getting started. I mean, what does this guy even eat to have power like that? Oh, phone books, I guess. But if somehow that isn't enough to show you that you should not be messing with this guy, then let me tell you about JD Anderson's very cool nickname, the Iceman. No, it isn't because he ices people, although he very clearly could if he wanted to. Instead, Anderson holds a very unique world record, one for breaking the most solid slabs of ice with his head.
My question is, what the hell?
Now just imagine if your body were these blocks.
No! God, please, no! No!
Meena Raghavan. The Indian martial art Kalari Payattu is considered the oldest martial art there is. According to different sources, Kalari Payattu is somewhere between 1300 or 2300 years old. This art is practiced in temples with altars, with the warriors making jaw-dropping jumps and brandishing 2-meter-long staffs, as well as swords, shields, axes and spears. There are special flexible swords used against the real opponents by Guru Kal, the warrior who mastered the martial art. Overall, Kalari Payattu is a unique and serious martial art. Both men and women are allowed to practice it, though the latter usually stop when they turn 20, but not the 76-year-old Meena Raghavan, the oldest known practitioner of Kalari Payattu. Most people prefer spending their time during retirement in the comfort of their own home, but this amazing woman has no intention to give up her training. After all, she started at 7, so why stop at 70? In addition to that, she runs a school to promote this ancient martial art. Her school has both local students and foreigners. As her students call her grandmother out of affection, she charges no fee for training her disciples. They give donations when they complete their training, so that she can continue to share her knowledge of Kalari Payattu with everyone who seeks it.